Hello every pony, Scar89 here once again with another fanfiction reading. Sorry I've been gone for quite a while. I've been sick, and, well, there was Thanksgiving. Today, I'm going to be reading Soarin Loses His Pie. Let us begin. Soarin loves his pie. Gonna eat a pie, gonna get a pie, gonna get a pie, gonna get me a delicious pie. Soarin sung quietly to him. I think you can determine what he's going to get. It was a beautiful day in the biggest sky city in Equestria, Cloudsdale. Wonderbolt practice was over, and it was lunchtime for Soarin. He had 45 minutes to eat, and then he had to go back to resume training and such. His favorite place to get lunch was at a bakery near the Wonderbolt's headquarters, where every day he would get the biggest apple pie they had. The pies were imported from Sweet Apple Acres, an apple farm down in Ponyville. He still remembered that glorious day a year ago when he had first tried their pies at the Grand Galloping Gala. A friendly orange mare had been selling them. He had been her first and only customer. That pie had been the true highlight of his day, making it the best day ever. Sure, the orange mare and her friends had eventually destroyed the place and had created chaos. But who cares? Then there was the rainbow-made mare, Rainbow Dash, he recalled, who had rushed in and saved his pie. He had wanted to ask her out the moment she grabbed it, before it splattered all over the ground, becoming inedible. Soarin shuddered at this thought. He couldn't bear losing his pie. The whole evening he wanted to talk to her, but some stupid snobs kept stealing him and Spitfire. He squealed in joy when the super familiar bakery came into view, and he shot straight for it, tempted by the wonderful aroma that emitted from it. Landing on the puffy cloud, he inhaled the sweet smell and intensely fell into heaven. He sighed and stood for several minutes, perfectly still, ponies occasionally glancing at him in confusion. His trance was broken when a little colt asked for his autograph. He signed the photo quickly and trotted inside, the scent now stronger. Standing in line, he scanned the display case for the pie. He found it, the splendid, large apple pie. He stared at for what seemed like forever until he was next in line. Oh, hi there, Soarin. Apple pie as usual? The clerk, Shortcake, asked. The biggest one you got, and make sure it's from Sweet Apple Acres. Shortcake smiled. So, it always is Soarin. It always is. She reached... Oh, that's a she. It always is Soarin. It always is. She reached for the pie in the display case and set it on the counter. 4 bits, please. Soarin pushed over the coins to Shortcake, who gladly accepted them. Thanks. Thanks. See you too. Before she could finish, Soarin slammed his hooves onto her, who yelped, Never stop getting these pies! Never! Stop! And tell the Apple family to never stop making them. His serious face turned into a friendly one, and he poured 3 bits into the tip jar before leaving, the delicacy being held in his mouth. Shortcake watched him go, embarrassed. Soarin exited the bakery, the pie just under his nose. A list of places where he could eat popped into his mind, and while he went through them, he noticed an empty table outside the shop. He shrugged and walked over to the table that was near the edge of the cloud the bakery sat on. However, along the way, a gray mare with a blonde mane bumped into him. To his horror, he tripped forward, and his mouth opened, the delicate apple pie flying out over the edge. Oh, sorry, mister, Ah! Soarin screamed. Every pony around groaned and clutched their ears at the volume. Soarin shot through the air and sharply blasted down, leaving a trail of black, sparkling smoke behind him. The gray mare coughed, and when the smoke cleared, frowned. Why couldn't she do anything right? Soarin struggled to keep up with the falling pie, but luckily it hadn't fallen out of its dish. He flew with all his might to catch it, but he was too far, and it continued to plummet down to its possible death. Soarin gulped and doubled his speed, his wings being strained. "Don't die, my pie! I'll catch you!" Soarin shouted. He was a wonderbolt for Pete's sake. What use was his speed if he couldn't save his treat? Some Pegasi nearby had actually followed him, watching the chase take place. To some it was pure entertainment, while to others it was Soarin, and they'd watched him all day. Soarin noticed that several birds were flying towards his falling pie, and he gasped, shocked. What if the pie landed on one and oh, Celestia, it was too terrifying to even think about. "Get out of here, you damn birds! Get away from my pie!" he screeched. He succeeded in scaring the birds away. They had rushed out of the way of the baked good. Soarin sighed in relief, but it was cut short when he spotted the ground, and it was about, a few miles down? "No!" he cried out. He tore through the air, going at his max speed, grinding his teeth. Tears formed in his eyes, making his view blurry. He quickly shot them away, and noticed that he was much closer to his pie. He extended his arm, his hoof just in front of his treasure. But it was no use, even at the speed he was going. Even if he did catch it, he would crash into the ground. Both he and his apple pie would fall and be destroyed. He allowed tears to fall, for he would lose his treat, and his most wonderful treat. "I want you to know, my dear pie, that even though I've only known you for a few minutes, that I will always love you and the delicious apples inside you. You and your brothers, the apple pies, are the best pies there can ever be. Just know that," he whispered his message softly. He couldn't stop now. The ground was just below him. He squeezed his eyes shut and waited for the darkness that would surely come. The pie he had bought that day would die uneaten, and this saddened him. And so he waited for it to fall onto the hard ground that was his death. And fall he did. He fell to his death. Wait, but why was it fluffy? Soarin opened his eyes and found that he was lying on a plushy white cloud. He jumped up and examined his perfect self. No cuts, bruises, nothing. Hey, is this yours?" a familiar voice spoke. Soarin spun around and met the glare of the sun. When he focused, he found the body of a rainbow-maned mare, the sun glowing behind her. In her left hoof was his fabulous pie, in perfect condition. Rainbow Dash. You saved my pie!" he stammered. Yeah, I did." She sat it down on the cloud next to him. He ignored it. "You saved it again." "I did?" "Oh yeah, at the Grand Galloping Gala." "Wait a minute! Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh! You're Soarin from the Wonderbolts!" she exclaimed. "My pie is saved because of you." Yeah, she chuckled. "You've said that several times." Soarin suddenly grabbed Rainbow Dash's hooves, his eyes wide and sparkling, his mouth open in joy. Rainbow Dash's face was crimson. "You saved my pie! Marry me!" That is the end. That was awesome. That was a good, silly little fic. it got a little too silly at the end, but you know. Yeah, I know. So, thank you for watching my video. Go check out one of my other videos if you want to. I decided to play this song because, you know, I was listening to it. It's a great song. I want to say sorry for being gone for so long. But go on over to Bernie Fanfics, good friend of mine. I actually recorded a video for him that is on his channel of Crisis Equestria, Chapter 23. Go over there, listen to it, go subscribe to him, and subscribe to me, you know, before you do that. If you don't like my reading and you prefer his reading better, put it in the comments and messages, and I'm sure him and I can work something out. I don't know. I'll put a link down to the video on his channel that I did for him. He asked for me and stuff, so yeah. I'm kind of actually just waiting for this music to go off, but there's still like 2 minutes left on it, so... Oh no, 1 minute left on it. So what can I talk about for a minute? I had a great Thanksgiving. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Suggest fics for me to read. Actually, yeah, suggest fics for me to read later on in the future. I have a whole bunch that I need to get to, but I'll eventually get to them later, so, you know. But I guess with that, I will see you guys later. Brody on!